years, Wake Eden Christian Academy has been a shining light in education, a light rooted in faith, truth, and the unchanging Word of God. As it is written, the entrance of your words gives light. Today, we gather to celebrate a remarkable journey, saluting the past, celebrating the present, and envisioning the future. But before we celebrate what is, we must honor where it all began. This academy was born not out of convenience, but out of calling. A vision placed by God, carried forward through years of prayer, sacrifice, and unwavering faith. What began in 1976 as a step of obedience has become a lasting legacy that continues to shine brightly today. And to truly understand that beginning, we must hear from someone who stood closest to that vision. We now turn to a voice that helps us remember the foundation and the faith that started it all.
Well, I'm Lola Simpson, and my claim to fame is that I am the wife of Reverend Sam Simpson, who everybody knows who he was. He's passed on 12 or so years now, but that's me. I walked and sat alongside of him, but I do not claim to be a pioneer or anything like that. He had the dream. He became a Christian when he was 16 years old. He completely sold out to the Lord. And the Bible was his companion. He was a man of prayer.
Yes.
And he talked with the Lord. And he got messages from the Lord. And he was led by the Lord. And, well, I was there learning from him.
Beautiful. All right, so my next question is, what inspired you and Reverend Simpson to start the school 50 years ago?
The question is not, I did not start the school.
Okay, so what inspired him? What do you think inspired him to start the school?
This man said, you come into a community.
Yes.
And the church is supposed to serve the community.
That's true.
And you look around and you find out what are the needs of that community. And you respond to whatever you see the need to be. At that time, in the Northeast Bronx here, early childhood education, there were not many.
Okay.
There were not many. There were not any, for that matter. There's a school bus that used to come into the community, but there was no one. We were number one. That's it.
Yes.
Because one of the feedback from members of the church was that, every morning you see these parents early in the morning taking their children to babysitters. One of the things we need is something for early childhood, for children, for small children. And pastor's dream and his idea.
Yes.
And who was available to carry it out. One thing to have a dream and a vision. It's another thing to get it done. And who was present? Maisie Bruce. Maisie Bruce was a social worker with two master's degrees.
Okay.
She was not an early childhood teacher, but she was a woman of, she was a dreamer, and she was a very strong person, and whatever she wanted to get done, she would get it done. Not that she would do it herself, but she would get it done. And so the pastor had a dream, a desire to serve the community, the church, to contribute to helping the community.
Yes.
And the feedback came, this community, these parents need somewhere to take their children at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And Mrs. Bruce was available. And she started it with 3, maybe 5 kids. For a long time, it was just 5 kids. One of them was my daughter, my last daughter, Kim Simpson.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That means that his vision was realized with the help of Mrs. Bruce through her. Okay, so
I don't even like to use the word help because, frankly,
she.
that woman did a tremendous job. She was a powerhouse. And he was enabler.
Yes.
He was definitely the enabler. He had a dream, he had a vision, and he was an enabler.
So we could say she shared that same dream and that same vision as well.
Oh, yes.
Yes. All right. So I want to go a little deeper in what do you think were some of the greatest challenges that he and Mrs. Bruce faced while they were establishing the school, and how did they work through it?
First thing is, and we may as well face the fact, we were an illegal. We were illegals. Sam Simpson said, we need a school, start a school. That's how he was. That's his nature. He just, if he wanted something, they said, do it. All his life. Some would come with an idea. You say you have the idea. You want to, why don't you run with it? And that's how he got a lot of things done. Because people had an idea, he allowed them to work it. Okay.
That sounds like an awesome leader, inspired by God.
Yes.
From those early days, something powerful began to take root. Classrooms became places of transformation. Seeds of truth were planted, and young lives were shaped with purpose and direction. The scripture reminds us, train up a child in the way he should go. And through the years, that calling has been faithfully lived out. Not only in what was taught, but in who students became. The light that was lit did not remain within these walls. It spread into homes, into communities, into generations. And today, we witness something beautiful. Those who once received are now returning to give. We now hear from one who once walked these halls as a student and now entrusts that same foundation to his own son.
My name is Mr. Bethel, and I am an instructor here at Weca Christian Academy. And I am here with Mr. Binger, who is an alumni of the Weca Christian Academy and also a parent of one of the students here. Mr. Binger, it's good to have you. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for the opportunity and thanks for having me. This is great. Great.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your experience while you were here at Weca Christian Academy. When did you first join the school as a student, and what was that like?
So I started Wake Eden for pre-K, so I remember, to third grade. It was definitely it was a great experience as a child because I remember so much, and the memories are extremely vivid based off of the experience. Um, I remember a lot of the staff, a lot of a very warm and welcoming, sort of like family.
Mm. Yeah.
Everybody really treated me and my mother and father like they knew them for years. I remember a lot of it, like extremely vivid. Um, One of the number one people that I remember that you know you could say that that pretty much inspired me and just had a hold on me as a child. Just always captivated my attention was Mrs. Bruce.
Mrs. Bruce.
Miss Bruce was she was a force to be reckoned with on many different ways. But it was some listen, I have a lot of friends that I've been friends with since I've left this school that I'm still friends with today.
Mm.
And a couple of us didn't even know that we all went to this school, but there was this class picture that we all take.
Mm.
And if you go to a lot of people's homes, that class picture is still
Yeah.
sitting there.
Wow.
And we would sit there and we'd be like, I know that picture. And we'd be like, oh, you want? And then we'd start the conversation and realize it. But everybody has the same experience. Miss Bruce.
Wow.
Everybody. We talk about her till today. So um but other than that, I had my lunch lady, Miss Foot.
Mm.
I remember her like it was yesterday too. She was very warm, once again inviting, like a mother,
Yeah.
She nourished us every day. So we look forward to that, you know what I mean? And there was a couple other teachers too, Miss Clark, a few others, but for the most part, everybody that I came in contact with had the same. I got the same, like it was like family. It wasn't like somebody was just watching me watching over me over the day. It was
Mm.
somebody who really looked like, and they really put forth the effort to show that they cared about me, because that's how I felt, you
Mm.
know. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. So you mentioned some of the staff that
Yes,
really impressed upon you in a deep way because of their warmth.
yes.
Um, were there like any particular memories with those staff or even with students, right, that really marked your time at Wake Eden Christian Academy?
Yeah, they were definitely the people I already mentioned. Those people were the top. But like I said, I had a my experience was vast here, and my mom was very involved with the school. So a
Mm.
lot of people you would know that, and then we would have like this camaraderie due to the fact that she was always here. So, but for the most part, Miss Bruce, Miss Clark, and Miss Foot, those are the two top three that I remember that always that have that stamp in my
In your mind,
mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, something I'm picking up is that you mentioned your mom being very involved in the
Yeah.
school, so it seems like there is an element of Wicked Christian Academy that was heavily community oriented,
Correct.
and so I wanted you to talk a little bit more about that. Um, what was that like for you being within that context?
Yeah, so Wake Christian Academy is in a very predominantly West Indian neighborhood. And my parents being immigrants from Jamaica, there was a lot of parents that wanted to have the cultural feel when they dropped their kids off to work. That's something that they would be familiar with, and Wake Eden embodied that
Mm,
in many different ways. So with that being said, that parents used to flock here because it was something that felt familiar to them
mm.
when they were dropping off their prized possessions, as I said before.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. That's wonderful. So there is something about the what Wickeden Christian Academy represents in the community, and
Correct,
also the values that it had.
correct.
So I wanted you to talk a little bit more about what are those values that you that was instilled in you, like when it comes to faith, character,
Yes.
the person that you are today. How was that shaped in your time here?
Well, we have, like you said, faith. We are sitting in the beautiful church right here that is attached to the school. This is another big memory of mine. I attended this church when I was a child,
Mm,
and just how to carry yourself, um, making sure that you put forth the effort to be respectful and make sure that everybody around you feels that.
Yeah.
Um, discipline.
Mm.
Discipline was big. Discipline was very big. You can listen. There were certain things you should and should not do, and you're gonna know that from a
Mm.
very early entry point into this school, and that was something that my parents really took as a golden point for
Mm.
them to want for them to want me to be here. Yeah,
Mm. Train up a child in the way that they should go, that kind of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
Mm. Wow. Um, I wanted to get a little bit more picture of who you were as a student, or from what you can remember at Wicked. And so, what kind of student did you think
Well,
you
just like
were?
that's a great question. Just like a lot of the boys that attend, very energetic, very outgoing, very sociable,
Mm.
always wanted to be heard, and seen.
Yeah.
Academic wise, I was a sponge. I wanted more and more and more. Even when it was time to go home,
Mm.
still wanted more then. Um, but for the most part, I definitely this experience was something that really put me in the perspective as also with my family upbringing that it molded me a lot into who I am today because that's why those core memories are still there because a lot of the things now I try to instill into my child today.
Mm.
And yeah, something that was very very near and dear to me, very near and dear. Yeah.
Mm. Wow, that's awesome.
Hmm.
So I want to hear more about the fact that you're a father and you have a son who goes to the same institution that you
Yeah.
graduated from. So what, why did you choose to have him come back, to
Well,
have him come to
that's
Wake Eden?
that's another good question. I had a great experience here as a child, and you know, this school has had an upward trajectory ever since I've left. It's been bigger and better and putting forth mad effort and putting more time into the community and it was something that I felt that was a excellent choice for my child to be able to experience.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What are some of those values that you think Wake Eden Christian Academy embodies that you want your son to um, learn while he's here?
Uh, order.
Mm.
Uh, um, like we said about the things that I've learned. We need discipline. We need respect. We need mannerisms. That's what I come from. That's what I like. It's zero tolerance. We need that especially in today's age, to pass on those things for our children to be able to pass on to their children and just
Yeah.
just keep that going. And once again, Wake Eden embodies a lot of those things for
Mm.
me.
Yeah. So there's the generational mindset that you have in mind when it comes to,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
So Wake Eden is celebrating 50 years.
Yes. Yes.
Christian Academy is celebrating
That's
50 years
that.
in that
That's
sense.
that's big.
So what does that mean, right? Like when we're talking about generationally, right? What does that mean for you personally? Right? That's 50 years of education in this context.
I mean, to me it embodies solid uh a rock. It embodies a great foundation, especially for the neighborhood and for the future, for the people who will be coming here and it sets a precedent and a bar that a lot of people will be looking at for them to send their children here and for them to attend the church and just to be involved with everything that Wake Eden has to offer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So we are looking back 50 years. Now let's look forward 50 years. What do you imagine that's a grand question.
Yeah, I know, but it's a great question. Honestly, the sky's the limit for here. I just see so much. There's been so much already done, and I see how everybody gravitates and everybody is willing to put in and pitch in to make this Wake Eden Christian Academy become something way more than it is as of today, even though at the grand scale it is now. So
Hmm.
it's to me it's only up.
Yeah.
The more and more, yeah, the trajectory is always going up in here. I have the utmost uh I think that it's gonna just keep going, man, because it's a beautiful place, and like I said, everybody loves it here. As far as what the feedback that I get, so I only see nothing but great things for the
All
future.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me,
No
Mr.
problem.
Binger.
No
Thanks for giving
problem.
us your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a
All
good one.
right, you too.
Today, we celebrate not only what has been, but what is. The mission continues. The classrooms remain filled, and the light is still shining. As Jesus declared, "You are the light of the world." He also said, "Let your light so shine." That light is seen in every lesson taught, every prayer lifted, and every student being prepared for purpose. The vision that began years ago is alive and active today, shaping lives in real time. And as we celebrate the present, we are reminded that this story is still being written. We now turn to hear from one who represents that living story, a student of today, and a reflection of the Academy's ongoing impact.
Hello, my name is Madison Lennon, and I am a proud fourth grade student at Wake Eden Christian Academy. Today, I would like to share my journey at Wake Eden and the amazing teachers who have helped shape me into the student I am today. Wake Eden Christian Academy is more than just a school. It is a place built on faith, love, and learning, where the teachings of Christ guide everything we do. We are taught to love one another, show kindness, forgive others, and treat everyone with respect. These values are not just spoken, they are lived out every day by our teachers and students alike. They have shaped who I am becoming. One of my most memorable moments was in pre-K with Miss Bryce during the COVID-19 pandemic. Learning was remote, and we were all at home instead of in the classroom. Even through a screen, Miss Bryce made us feel connected, safe, and excited to learn. I remember her patience and kindness as she helped us adjust to learning online and still made every day feel special. Another memorable moment is a meaningful learning experience with Mrs. Coleman, who challenged us to learn to explore Black history not just by focusing on one famous person, but by understanding the entire journey of African Americans through the decades of the Civil Rights Movement. I remember thinking that the way she taught us felt like we were being trained to become Supreme Court justices or even leaders of the NAACP. That was also the first time I learned about Brown versus Board of Education, and it opened my eyes to the importance of justice, courage, and equal education for all. As I continued through Wake Eden Christian Academy, I realized that all of the teachers and staff share that same spirit of care, patience, and dedication. They encourage us to work hard, believe in ourselves, and never give up. They celebrate our successes and guide us through our challenges with love and support. One person who makes Wake Eden feel even more special is Miss Knight, our principal. She greets every student with a warm hug and a bright smile. No matter what kind of day you are having, she makes you feel seen, valued, and loved the moment you walk through the door. That simple act of kindness sets the tone for the entire school day. What makes Wake Eden so special is how the teachers show love in both big and small ways. Sometimes it is helping a student who is struggling. Sometimes it is offering comforting words. And sometimes It is simple acts of care like wiping a runny nose or making sure a child feels okay after a hard moment. These acts reflect the teachings of Christ in action, showing love, compassion, and patience every day. Because of the teachers at Wake Eden, I have grown not only academically, but also personally. They have helped me become more confident, responsible, and determined to do my best. They have shown me what it means to live with kindness and faith. Now, as I look forward to becoming a fifth grader at Wake Eden Christian Academy, I feel hopeful and excited. I hope to continue growing in my learning, becoming a stronger leader, and following the example of Christ-like love that I see in my teachers every day. I also hope to set a good example for younger students and continue striving to do my best in everything I do. I would like to thank Miss Knight, our principal, Miss Bryce, Mrs. Coleman, and all the teachers at Wake Eden Christian Academy for their dedication, patience, love, and faith. Thank you for shaping not only our minds, but also our hearts through the teachings of Christ. Wake Eden Christian Academy will always hold a special place in my heart because it is not just a school. It is a family rooted in faith, learning, and love. I am grateful for this opportunity to talk about my school. It has been my pleasure.
As we reflect on the journey behind us and celebrate the work before us, we now look ahead. Because a legacy such as this does not stand still. It moves forward with purpose. The word reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you," declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. That same God who gave the vision continues to guide its future. And the light that has shined for 50 years will continue to shine for generations yet to come. As we envision what lies ahead, we now turn to the leadership guiding this next chapter. We hear from the pastor and executive director of Weca, who will lead us forward with vision, faith, and purpose.
When I think about the future of the Wake Eden Community Baptist Church, the Wake Eden Christian Academy, um, and the vision for what we can do and become in this community, I begin with three things. First, remembering. It's essential that we reflect on our rich history, our rich legacy of faith in God, commitment to the academic development of our children. And when I think of this, always at the forefront of my mind is the Reverend Dr. Samuel G. Simpson, our founding pastor, Maisie Bruce, our founding executive director, and the other committed staff like a Mrs. Foote and a Mrs. Gloria Wilson. And I think about them and as I reflect on them, I am encouraged and challenged, knowing that we are reaping that which we have not sown. You know, Jesus said it in John, the Gospel of John, chapter 4, verses 37 and 38. And he's speaking there of accomplishing the will of God. And he says these words: "This saying is true: one sows, another reaps. I sent you to reap that for which you have not labored. Others have labored, and you have entered into their labors." End of quote. This kind of remembering and retelling is essential for me so that we do not forget that we have entered into the labors of others and that they are fruits that are being reaped today and blessings that we are being experienced today that others sacrificed for, that
that others gave up aspects of their own pursuits in order for that to be accomplished. So I begin with remembering what would that look like to continue to expand that work. For some people, they've said, well, Pastor, we should go additional grades in the grade school, or extend into middle school or even high school. And when I hear those words, I reflect on Dr. Simpson's vision, who documented this back in the 70s and 80s, that was ultimately one of the dreams that was embodied in the foundation of establishing this academy. By God's grace and God's will, we'll see how that continues to mature and materialize. But in the meantime, there's so much that can be done and that we have already begun to do in this community. Um, this includes our enrichment programs, extending that to the larger community and not just to our student population. This includes our leadership development classes, our music program, our etiquette training, our confidence classes, and actually that would be an addition, confidence classes, our dance club, our character development workshops, AI and coding clubs, debate and speech clubs, chess clubs, and more. And all of this necessitates the need for additional space, additional property, and of course, additional staffing. Um, but all of this is connected to the vision that we believe that all children are created by God with purpose and with unique potential, and that we should do everything we can to cultivate that potential for the glory of God. And so, this reaching, um, this desire to, or this dream to, or this vision to expand the work that we do in the area of Christian education is all connected to what God wants to see accomplished in the lives of the children he loves, of the people that we serve in this community. And finally, the last part I will mention is resourcing. Vision requires resources. We are committed to prayerfully seeking appropriate revenue streams, endowments, philanthropists, grants, and of course, alumni and friends like you and I who can assist in raising, giving, and helping to realize the full potential of what began 50 years ago as the Wake Eden Christian Academy. And today, as a church family, um, celebrating 54 years of the church's witness in this neighborhood, 50 years of the academy's witness in this neighborhood. We continue to press forward through our Wake Eden Community Enrichment Center and our STEM summer programs and our STEM offerings in our after school programs, all so that we can serve the people God loves in this community. I invite you to dream with us. I invite you um, to be a part of what it would take to continue to realize the work, the ministry, the vision of the Wake Eden Community Baptist Church and the Wake Eden Christian Academy and the Wake Eden Community Enrichment Center. Thank you so much for your time.
Today, we have saluted the past, celebrated the present, and envisioned the future. And through it all, one truth remains: God has been faithful. From a single step of obedience in 1976 to a thriving legacy of faith and learning today, His hand has guided every step. Being confident of this, that He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. And so, we move forward with confidence, knowing that the same God who sustained the past will secure the future. For 50 years, this academy has been a shining light in education. And by His grace, that light will continue to shine for generations to come. And so, we give praise to God today. We magnify His holy and righteous name. It is because of Him that we are able to salute the past, celebrate the present, and envision a glorious future for this school, the Wake Eden Christian Academy. God bless you.